remember that she lands at the airport and she comes out and she's wearing this disgusting, gaudy, massive hoodie that says Meme Ticks on it. And I'm like,
Meme Ticks is the boy Tim. So Destiny is picking his woman up from the airport, and this disgusting woman, try to be nice here, is wearing a hoodie with the TikTok handle of the Sweden gentleman.
And then Melina says, Tim had a breakdown a month ago where he gave me an ultimatum. When I didn't take the option he wanted me to, he had a breakdown where he said that he was. After that, he tried to beg me to come over. I said no, but he didn't really respect it and he kept pushing, etc. After that, he chilled out. When I was at TwitchCon, he went off on me saying that poly was bad for kids. He took it back when I said that he was acting manipulative. Later that week, he invited a girl over that I really wanted to see, and it seemed like he only did it to get a reaction out of me. He apologized for it, and we all hung out and it was fine. I also found out that he had talked some bad stuff about me behind my back to a close friend of mine, which felt a bit controlling. After that, he had one more breakdown when I had to work instead of hanging out with him like I promised. That's like the worst things pretty much, so I understand, but things have gotten better. He says that he wants to change and get better. He apologizes and recognizes his mistakes and says he's learning and he wants to be good. And I see improvement every day, and that's what I'll go by. Then there's plenty of things that he brings to my life that makes me happy. She tells me another story where she's like, yeah, you know, I had to do an interview and, you know, I was trying to get out of bed, but Tim, you know, never wants me to work or do anything. And when I got out of bed and I started doing the interview, when you came up and I started speaking positively about you, Tim stormed out of the apartment. He got up, he stormed out, he slammed the door. And when Melina texted him, was like, hey, what's up? Or what are you doing? He's like, I'm gonna go hang out with that other girl that, you know, that you really want to hang out with. I'm like, okay, Jesus.
What?
That happens among a couple other stories, right? But she comes back to the US, she lands. My goal is we're just gonna be chill. We're gonna have like 2 decent days together where we just like hang out, see how we feel about each other. And then we'll go to therapy and we'll figure stuff out, you know?
So to summarize all the things, it's so crazy to see so much of this degenerative behavior. You're threatening self to, like, it's just so degenerative. But to be honest with you, looking at the photos of who this, you know, young man and this young gentleman is, like, this is, I mean, I don't often say this on my platform, but, you know, just looking at all of the shit, like, it just gives me weirdo vibes. So to think that it would not come from someone like him and you're involving him within your poly relationship, you're not prioritizing this guy over the guy who got you popping on the goddamn internet, who made you relevant at all, is just absolutely baffling to me. But Destiny is essentially saying that we're in Sweden. The guy is obviously jacking her mind up. At least when she gets back to the United States, we can sit it down, have conversations, try to figure this shit out, go to therapy, and then go from there. But watch, because Melina doesn't let her bullshit go. Let's keep going.
I remember that she lands at the airport and she comes out and she's wearing this disgusting, gaudy, massive hoodie that says Meme Ticks on it. And I'm like,
Meme Ticks is the boy Tim. So Destiny is picking his woman up from the airport, and this disgusting woman, try to be nice here, is wearing a hoodie with the TikTok handle of the Sweden gentleman. God damn it, Destiny. What the f? Dropped the bitch a long time ago. You goddamn crazy. Demon, foul demon. Therapy is way beyond you guys right now. She is a thought, ultimately 100% always polyamorous woman that knows nothing else than being a thought, a hoe, and you tried to wife her. What the f is this? We done told you this shit. RP content would have told you to leave this large body count woman by the wayside. Yeah, she looks okay. She's relatively decently attractive. Get the guts and move on. But you got emotional to a woman that has the capability to do some demonic demon witch woman shit like that? We often say, when you think about your image, who would wear a picture of you on their chest? T-shirt, a hoodie, and what does that signify? With those that you consider within your starting 5 would wear a picture of your name or your face as paraphernalia? If they would, potentially those are the riders. This chick is wearing the paraphernalia, the TikTok at of the other guy? What? Crazy.
mind is like so unbelievably like right now, because I remember that she lands at the airport and she comes out.
She don't belong to the streets. She belongs to the universe, the multiverse, and the omniverse. Disgusting.
And she's wearing this disgusting, gaudy, massive hoodie that says meme ticks on it. And I'm like, my mind is like so unbelievably like right now, because in my mind, Melina is one of the most sensitive in the world. If we're driving around and there's like a new song on my playlist, Melina's asking me like, which girl gave you this song? Like literally, like that's where she's at. And so she shows up in this hoodie. I'm like, this is the and then we go to do the Stacy stuff. Before talking to Stacy, I tell Melina a couple things. One, I say, before we do this, I want all of the money that I gave you for the taxes back right now, because I don't trust Tim to not tell you to take it from me in the future. And two, I need you to pay me
smart move
back rent, at least on this apartment, okay? Because if you're gonna move in people and you're gonna start buying for these broke, you need to, I'm not gonna pay for rent here for you while
smart
you're covering the expense of another person. Feels like I'm basically subsidizing their life. That's not
He's beginning to not let Lilith take advantage of him. Smart move.
happening. So before therapy, thank God, we walk to the bank. I think it's about 115,000. She transfers it all to me, cash from one account to the next. I'm like, okay, cool. Get my money back. Feel good about that at least. And then he also mentioned something about how I'm making up like the money thing. But again, I think the problem is I don't think he knows how much Melina told me, because Melina probably lies to him. One of the conversations we had, I think it was on November 1st. Melina says, do you want me to tell you about Tim or would you rather me not? LOL. And I said, yeah, go for it. And she said, he had a bit of a cry today over financial stuff, and he got very aggressive against me verbally. I kind of just ignored it. What financial stuff? And let him have a breakdown. Like, I said I pay for a lot pretty much, and he should probably do his share, especially if he's here a lot. And it was just an interesting reaction. But yeah, I just got very cold. I wonder how much money he actually makes or has saved up. Yeah, he says he isn't making much now because he hasn't worked, and I told him that he needs to, especially if he's going to demand things from me and all. He called me greedy and spoiled, LOL, for making more than he does. And I'm like, I don't want this dynamic. It's not okay for me. And he had his breakdown. I said I'm going outside to eat. He can come talk to me when he stopped crying. He came down later and apologized and said I was
He's
right.
a woman.
LOL. Jeez. Oh yeah, and it's interesting too. He seems to have zero interest in the other friend that I said that he was mine with, but he also doesn't want me to see her alone, and like Blank and I want to hang out so much. We're like texting every day, good night and good mornings. And it's a bit weird because she probably feels like he doesn't like her. I'm not sure.
Greedy, spoiled, entitled, and she's having this conversation with her husband regarding this guy. You cannot make this shit up.
Up here, I responded and I said, yeah, this is exactly what I said yesterday, LOL. He's never going to let you go alone. He might be scared of you hanging out with other people alone, and he probably doesn't really like it when you guys hang out with others or in a group. He wants it to mainly be one-on-one. Yeah, maybe, but oh my God. Yeah, maybe, but oh my God, I really, really want to see her. I've been like crushing all day, so I'm just frustrated. Just go and see her. Why let Tim stop you? Hopefully I get to see her this weekend. I was close to today, but my throat started hurting and stuff. I'll text her tomorrow. I really like this girl. She told me she wrote about me in her grateful journal. What's that? Well, things she's thankful for, blah, blah, blah. And then our conversation ends. But yeah, so like, yeah. Every single claim that I have made, I can back up with like 50 million different, what if she's lying to you and it's just a habitual lie? Every single thing that she's talked to me about, she's talked to a ton of other people about because she overshares like, she had the same conversation with another guy. He got upset when I said that he has to pay. He got upset when I said that I pay for most things / everything. And if he wants to be in my apartment and take up space for his stuff, he needs to pay his share. And he called me greedy and privileged. He seems to be more...
Oh gosh, Charlotte, just real quick. It is so disgusting. It's weird to say to see an entitled, privileged woman get gaslit by an entitled, privileged man. Like, what type of goddamn entitled, privileged inception shit is this? This is absolutely ridiculous. The entitled and the privileged are out entitling the entitled and the privileged. Crazy.
Trouble than he's worth. I don't know. I'm just letting him cool off. He got extremely emotional for some reason. You're staying in someone's apartment. You can pay your way. By the way, he does live there. Yeah. Oh, and this is on... these stupid dates. 1/11. What is that, November? Or whatever the 11th month is on the 1st, right? Yeah, and I didn't even really
This must be what lesbian relationships look like. Like, this is the only thing. This is the only thing that I can see, right? You have just two emotional, just flowers and butterflies just trying to figure out in life, not understanding the privilege that they grew up in or to accept, never have to work hard at all. Because look at my muscle tone. It is so weak. I could never, ever lift anything in my life because I am so small, so weak.
He's like this dude.
Sitting on the lap of another lady. Oh, I can't work possibly. Oh, let me cry. Let me cry because she's holding me accountable. You know us women, we escape accountability. We want nothing to do with being accountable. What the fuck is this? That's what happens when you ignore the nature. Lego.
I didn't even really tell him to pay rent. I just said pay more for groceries. Oh, is this just from when you were together in Sweden, or is he living there now? I'm in Sweden now, back for a month, so this just happened. Oh, okay. But the next day she comes up to me and she's like, because during therapy I'd made like a list of like, here's like the boundaries that I need. If we're gonna do like open relationship and all going forward, this is what I need to happen, or else we're just done because I'm not wasting my time with anything else. And also like these boundaries are like bare minimum just to even start a relationship. This isn't even to have a good relationship. This is just like bare minimum. And if you're not willing to do this, like, I'm walking. This is stupid. She's more open to my boundaries, and then she talks to me and she's like, well, here's like, these are the things that I want from you in a relationship. And when she starts talking to me about these things, they just sound like the dumbest things in the world. Like, I don't understand what's going on. So like, for instance, like one of the things she'll say is like, I need somebody who doesn't judge me for not working as much. And I'm like, I've never judged you for that, except for like the only time I've said this is the last 2 months. I got worried because it seems like she was like quitting a lot of her stuff and just spending all of her time, you know, staying up till 5 a.m., like being lazy and having her life be destroyed. Like, it's only been the last 2 months, but like it's a ton of stuff that I've complained about for the last 2 months that she's pretending is happening like the entire relationship. And then she hits one thing where she's like, I need somebody who is willing to give me like a lot of freedom and stuff. And I'm like, what? Tim gets motion sickness so bad he can't even get in Ubers. He can't even get in cars. Like, Melina likes, you know, like and travel. Tim doesn't.
Hey, yo, grown-ass men should not be getting motion sickness. That's I feel like that's the first thing. Listen to what he says, though.
Thing where she's like, I need somebody who is willing to give me like a lot of freedom and stuff.
Destiny gives her the ultimate freedom. They're in a poly relationship. She can literally receive eggplant from whoever that she is. And seeing how much of a pushover Destiny is, she was absolutely doing that. The guy was living in her goddamn apartment. So now she is in therapy trying to establish much more distance from her millionaire husband. Holy shit, you cannot make this up. There's literally millions of other women out there. Literally millions. And you're stuck on this one.
And I'm like, what? Tim gets motion sickness so bad he can't even get in Ubers. He can't even get in cars. Like, Melina likes, you know, like and travel. Tim doesn't do. He doesn't fly in airplanes or get in cars because he's motion sick, and he's definitely not open or polyamorous. So what the is even happening? Why would you tell me? Why would you tell me that you need more freedom? Like, I've literally let you have a second husband. Like, what the? I don't understand that. And she's like, well, I don't know. And then I bring up like you can't even hang out with that one girl without, you know, without him letting you. And then she's like, well, you know, I can understand why he doesn't want me hanging out with that person. And I'm like, what do you mean you can understand why? I don't like, what's the possible reason? And then Melina's like, because you were talking to her about Tim. And then 2 huge things go off in my mind. So the first, and I hate it, Melina has lied to me so much over this thing, and she's so bad at lying, okay? Which is a little endearing, because I don't think she lies much, or at least not in these like more convoluted or complicated situations.
You're underestimating
So
her.
the first issue is that like, I talked to this other girl like 2 weeks ago. That doesn't explain why he doesn't let you hang out with her for the past 2 months. So 1, you're lying, number 1. And number 2, how does he know that I was talking to this person? And then, you know, she does like the trickle truth. She's like, well, you know, obviously they're friends, so they're going to talk. And I'm like, no, because that friend was the one saying that we should delete the DMs because they didn't want to make it dramatic. And I was like, well, yeah, but like I'm friends with all them, so I told them to talk. And I'm like, do you mean that you told him everything that I said to that person? And she's like, well, yeah. And then at this point, I'm like,
Lost it.
You're doing more damage control for this guy.
Yeah.
You're doing more you can to build him up to your friends. And he knows more about our relationship than I know about you. And then I got, at that point, I'm like, I'm unhinged. I fully admit I am ultra unhinged now. I tell her that, she needs to pack all of her and get out. I'm leaving for 2 days. If I come back and she's still here, I'm going to like word both. I say a lot. Okay, I'm unhinged. I fully admit I'm super unhinged. I call a few divorce lawyers to figure out like what is my exposure to an alimony fight. I made a lot of money this year. What's going on? You know, I contact 3 different lawyers. Florida has like short-term marriage laws are not very favorable for alimony. We have no joint assets. We have no children. Her career hasn't been negatively impacted at all. She's made money the whole time. For a whole litany of reasons, if she wanted to fight, it would be a long fight and she would probably get nothing. Just because there's not like a strong or compelling case to be made for alimony in this case. So I'm like, okay, cool. If she wanted to.
Great lawyer.
I send a mutual communication. I shoot divorce papers to her and I'm like, hey, sign this. I'm done. We're done. Okay. I'm just whatever. I don't even tell her why. I just shoot the divorce papers over to her via an assistant and I say, sign these, get them notarized, and we're done. She doesn't contest anything. She doesn't fight anything. She just whatever. We still haven't even talked to each other since she left, remember, because she blocked me. So we haven't even talked to each other for, I think, 10 days. She gets the divorce papers. She signs everything instantly. And then the divorce papers are filed. The Florida court accepts.
Yo. All right, we've been ragging on a lot with Destiny within this entire chat. Can we at least get some W's? Let's get some W's down into the chat for Destiny for getting her to sign the divorce papers uncontested, notarized and everything. You got to admit, guys. And now he's getting free content out of this entire situation. Like, yeah, his heart is goddamn broken, but she signed the divorce papers uncontested. Holy shit. W's down into the chat for Destiny right now. Because, I mean, here's the thing. At the end of the day, she knew she was wrong. She knew that she was going to come off as a narcissistic demon witch woman. So she thought to herself, the least that I can do is not try to suck him out of the $1 million that I can probably get if I was to fight. Shout out to that lawyer, by the way. I think that the lawyer gave him a false, because they were married for like 5 years, 6 years. I think the lawyer gave him a false sense of security, which then aided in his communication to her to just sign it. You probably won't get anything because of all of these different reasons. We all know that is typically not the case for that discrepancy in earned income of the two parties involved. But he obviously took an L in this relationship by not following some of these RP truths and RP standards, having an open relationship with a goddamn nasty, manipulative, destructive young woman. But at the end of the day, he's not going to suffer any financial consequences off of his decision. And in fact, he's making another bag off of releasing all this content.